Good afternoon, all. Camelback Trading 2724 coming to you this Friday afternoon, December 27th. We're looking at the last couple of days of the market profile on the SPY ETF. And after gapping higher to an all time high, but not even getting the pre market all time high, we basically drove straight down, filled the gap in A period, held the price probe initially, battled at yesterday's high for 3 time frames before buyers attempted to take control again, and then got a rotational day inside of value throughout the day. I came in with a short position, right? I took that trade yesterday. I thought what it did in M period yesterday just really stretched it out. Well, it did, but we really never got below it today. But it turned out to be a good trade because when A opened, now I wasn't going to do anything initially. I wanted to see what happened. But once we looked out ahead above the opening for a couple of ticks and started coming down. I didn't do anything right away, but as the volume increased on the way down, I added on to that put play that I had from last night. Now remember, I didn't take it until M's high and an N. So I wasn't in a lot of hurt. I mean, I was down when we opened, but it wasn't like I shorted it down here. So once I added and it came down, I started taking that off because that was in the money. And then I was in the money as soon as we got into yesterday's range. And when we got some nice acceleration, I held it and then took all of it off right above the base of the price probe. So it turned out to be a nice trade. And then in B period, we took out A's low by 2 ticks. I actually had a bid in to buy calls because I wanted to see if we held the base of the price probe and or 9 wide. Never got filled. Obviously would have been a good trade. We battled yesterday's high for 3 time frames, and I said in C, whoever wins that battle should win the remainder of the day. Now, the Bulls basically won it, and they did win a good part of the day. Not that they got a lot of distance out of it, but we did stay above yesterday's high a good part. Yes, we dipped into an H, I, and J, but for the most part, we were above it until M flushed out. Even though buyers were in control, like I said, a couple of things. After that basically open and test drive down, when we one time framed up inside of A period, I didn't think we were going to just go and rip and take out the high. So I started a short position, small at first in D, and then added decent size, very good size, at around E's high. And then when F opened and couldn't even take out D's high, I was very comfortable with it, took it down, and made a very nice trade. Got out of it basically at F's low. So that was the second trade. My next trade, I went long calls in I period. H opened up and actually took out G's high and then came right back down, which I was kind of surprised at. I thought H might make a run again, but it didn't. So when I got down, I took a call position again, right around C's low and yesterday's high. And it held. It held very nicely. So I was very comfortable being long. Probably got out of a lot of it way too soon. Got out of a bunch of it as soon as we took out J's high when we started getting back. I thought the pocket at the time was higher. It was D's low. I thought maybe we can get more of that. I held on to about 20 of them and took them right to where afternoon rally high was. And I didn't do anything in M period. So 3 trades. I was very happy on the day. Let's go over destinations. So we go out with a price probe. Downside price probes have failed miserably all of 2019. And that's not to say it won't be accepted on Monday morning, but they, for the most part, have failed. Now, we traded up. We closed at 322.86. So right now, we're trading at 322.48. So we did come all the way back down. But we won't know until Monday when A period opens. If we open above A and go up, that price probe's rejected. If we open below it, it will be accepted. But we won't know until A period. So 322.49, your price probe. First destination on the upside. Then we were 10 wide at 323.09. That'll be your second destination. I used H's high, 323.30. as my afternoon rally high. Then we have 323.80, which is today's high. It's a weekly high now and an all-time high. And 324.09 is my pre-market all-time high. For the downside, we have today's low of 322.28. Then we have the lowest accepted price, which worked like a charm yesterday, 3 times at 321.98. Then we have yesterday's low of 321.64, which is a daily low, and filling the gap at 321.52, a 12-point gap. Below that, 321.19. It was only 7 wide, but again, it was only 7 time frames, so I'm going to use that from Christmas Eve to 24th. 320.90 is our weekly low, as we're 1 time framing up now in the weekly for 3 weeks, so 320.90. And then 320.37, which is a daily low. And let's look at the charts to finish out the week. The weekly, the monthly with 2 days to go in the month. We're going to end up 1 time framing up for 2 months with the gap still alive. I'm sorry, that's the weekly I'm showing you. I apologize. Monthly, 1 time framing up 2 months. The gap is still there, so very healthy. Weekly, 1 time framing up now 3 weeks with that gap still there. And the daily, after being in balance, when Christmas Eve we took out Monday's low, we finally came into balance. We are now up. 1 time framing up again for 2 days with the gap as my main focus. So as long as we keep getting distance away, the trend's not getting old. We'll see. Again, for the sellers to have any chance, they need to take out today's low and come back into balance and then see if they can get some continuation on the downside. They have not been able to do so a good part of this year. Now, there's only 2 days left in the year. I'm not saying they're going to mark it up or they're going to sell it off. I think in these days with electronic trading and everything, I think what's been done for the most part's been done. So I'm not looking for any window dressing or anything like that. So it remains to be seen. All I know is we're up like 10 out of the last 11 weeks, and the only week we were down, it was down 81 cents. So at some point, we need to come into a good balance. It would be healthier for the market to come into a good balance, trade sideways for a little bit, and then decide, do we continue on to new highs, or do we make some headway on get to the downside at some point. Remember, the all-time high, though, again, is in the pre-market right now. So we'll see if we can get that. The 50-day moving average continues to just climb. It's at just under 311. And the 200 is at 296. So very, very healthy. Hope you had a great day in week trading. Enjoy the weekend, and we'll speak prior to the opening on Monday.